Part of this year's National Day on Writing, we've been encouraged to write about what we like to write. And I thought it might be interesting to take a behind-the-look scene at a poem that I was trying to compose for this year's Day on Writing, entitled What I Write. I'm going to walk us through some of the changes that happened as I was writing this using Google Docs. So first of all, I had a pretty good idea where I was begin because I knew I was going to write about things that I like to write. And I really struggled, though, with the beginning of it, of trying to get the wording right. And as I walked through the changes a little bit here in Google Docs, what you're going to see is that I was scratching out and rewriting and scratching out and just trying to find the right rhythm of the words at the beginning. And the metaphor that I was working with as I was going through had to do with this idea of uncovering an idea. So that concept of an archaeologist trying to find an idea really spurred and came up to me. And one of the things too, there's my title there, that I finally realized that I needed a subtitle around Archeologists of an Idea. One of the things I was going through, you'll see, is that I was trying to make a list down below, and I was toggling back and forth between the idea of should I have adjectives or not? Would it be more direct without them? And kind of in the end, I decided to keep a lot of those descriptive words there and also work into the middle a break in the poem so that I kind of introduce this poetic idea of an archaeology dig and then move into how and what it is that I write. And you can see that as I got further into the poem, I was really trying to figure out the right words, the exact words that I was looking for that would not only create meaning, but also would create a certain rhythm as I read it out loud. And I'm often reading my poems out loud to myself to try to see, does this make sense? And does this word here change the meaning of the poem? And sometimes I need to come back to them. So a lot of these edits were actually done in a single morning as I was working, but then I had to take a day or two off and come back to it a little later and think about what the poem really meant to me now. And this is one of those days, I think, where I came back and I had to make some pretty substantial changes because it just didn't work for me anymore, particularly after I read it out loud again. But I was kind of getting to an idea here that I could find an ending for myself. You can see that the second part of the poem is relatively untouched as I kind of move through different edits, and then it was just a phrase here, a word there, and not too much kind of major overall haul. Instead, it was more thinking about what might help move this writing along. And so you can see I started doing a little tinkering at the top as well, and catching some errors that might need it. Here I just trying to really figure out the end of it. I had this phrase, such care, such caution, such calculation, which although I like the rhythm of it, in the end I don't really think that it really worked for the poem, so I had to remove that phrase and kind of ended up thinking about this poem just like this. What I write, an archaeologist of an idea. What I don't know when I write are the mysteries of ideas, the shadows filtering in from outside of myself as some sort of jewel, half hidden away in my consciousness demanding freedom from the perpetual overthinking of just about everything. And so, pen scratching paper, fingers pounding keyboard, skin touching screen, the writer in me tinkers with these treasures that slowly unfold as a singular phrase, an inspiring song, a passionate letter, a sad story, a shout out loud yelp into the wilderness of the world, a poem. Always it seems my mind comes back to me as a poem, which circles back on itself until the grains of time get gently brushed away, and I, the writer, slowly emerge as an archaeologist of an idea. Thanks for letting me take you behind the scenes of my poem.